Hello, George.
I'm okay. So how were you able to come, to translate into the spirit realm, to the spirit of Nostradamus, to be able to, to know what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen, anywhere from now and into the future? How come? Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, I knew that I am an oracle. I'm a living God, a God that will die. It's sad. And I've always said that my death will lead to scientific discovery of the medicine that will see human dies no more, or that will see human longevity. But before such invention and medicine will come to my side to keep me alive, it would have come to me late. And I said that my death will lead to where the world, for the first time, the world will mourn. The sea, the mountain, the world, nature will mourn for my death. And in nature mourning for my death will lead to man to go into the deepest discovery of the sea bed to know what answers that can bring human longevity. But before such would be discovered, it would be late for me. Now I'm an oracle. My words are living. My words are life. My words are living. I've been singing as loud as the way in the sea. Way is the biggest sea in the ocean. And the breadth of the way when it takes the water is so deep. So also the tears of the way is so the sound it can bring deafness to the ear. If human does not understand the mystery of why the way would always shed tears, because the way will hardly shed tears. I have been shedding tears and I've been opening to the people of the Commonwealth. I have done my teachings through the videos, different videos on YouTube, different videos on website. I've done my teachings through the medium, but the white people have taking up the rod of destruction upon the black nation. And the black nation, the people of the colored nation, it is sad that God failed them when creation was made. If the world can go back to all my press statements in the news release, and they can read all the words, the advice, the doctrines, the teaching, the reality, you would understand that the world for the first time want to fail themselves, and human destruction will come in enormous. 15 million Jews died, but 500 million Commonwealth deaths will be recorded. And I saw it. Say that again.
The 500 million Commonwealth debt that's coming up. When is it coming up?
It is coming up from 15 years from today. So 15 years from today, the debt recording will start taking its eminence, recognition, in the sense that the people will just start dying. But within 3 years, the rot of debt will sweep through the nations of the Commonwealth. And 500 million will be massacred. Half of the Commonwealth nation generation would die of famine and starvation.
Famine and starvation?
Yeah, 500 million would die of famine and starvation. So basically, the Europe has brought destruction upon the people of the Commonwealth. It's a disaster. It's a destruction that humanity will never recover for the next 1,000 years. United Kingdom government is championing the destruction of the Commonwealth. This is a mastermind of Angela Merkel and the whole EU in generality. The EU people feared that the Commonwealth people will be the biggest nation in continent that will take over the world, because the called Americans are the bastards who are of the black nation, who has left the shores. America as a nation belongs to nobody. It does not even belong to the white man. So the likes of Donald Trump and the likes of the black Americans who think that they are an island without the black nation. They don't even know that the great nation of America today, it is the offspring of the black brothers, the colored brothers, who were stolen away as slaves, that made that nation great. So the future of the Commonwealth nation greatness has been seen. So for the first time, the world wants to bring destruction upon humanity, which is called the apocalypse of Judaism. So apocalypse of Judaism will see 500 million Commonwealth people massacred to death. They will die in famine and starvation. Now these are the layers of destruction upon the Commonwealth people. It starts with the propaganda, whereby the people have made enemies before the people who they know. The propaganda simply means the Europe has set up an excavation will mean the depth root of the Commonwealth people, which has been a bug in them. The Commonwealth nations were never known to these people called Europe. The Europe went to harness them, and in the harnessization of them, they had been, in the Europe, the European existence as a bug. And for the first time, the European wants to evacuate them from their life and from their settlement. So from 2016, the evacuation of the Commonwealth citizens from Europe would begin. It has already started taking effect because it has come in the layers of mass deportation. So all Europe will begin to excavate the Commonwealth nation. They will excavate them. There will be no mercy. It will be the bed of destruction. So from 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, deportation of the Commonwealth nation from Europe will continue. So 6 years they have to complete the first phase of Commonwealth destruction. So for 6 years, Commonwealth nation will be evacuated from Europe. So those who would not have papers will be told they have to go. Now from 2023 to another 7 years, which will be 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. By 2029, the excavation of the Commonwealth citizens who are now resident in Europe from their generic foundation, the mixed race will also be evacuated and dumped in a land they don't even know. So the next evacuation will be revocation of residence. It will be called generic extermination of the color interrelationship. The colored who are not the pure race will be deported back to Africa. Africa will be the dumping ground. So anything, so the pure white race that the Hitler called the white breed are all going to be excavated. So they also deport the ones who have their resident, who have their papers. So it's a shame because the ones who are, because human does not know that injustice to one is injustice to all. So they said it's none of my business why I have my paper, because African man has been buttered to be selfish to themselves. They only like themselves. They only like themselves and they don't bother about their brothers. So from the next 7 years, starting from 2023 to 2029, all those with permanent residence will be evacuated, excavated, deported, deployed, and transferred to a land Africa currently is called the dungeon of hell. It is called the dungeon of hell because it's only a breeding ground to harness gold and diamond. Once gold and diamond is harnessed, there's nothing interesting about the land. The white man is not interested about the beauty or development of the African nation other than for themselves. So as we go into the phases of 2030, the Europeanism will not kill the economy of the Commonwealth nation. They will kill their economy by devaluating their currency, because the economy is a ghostly operation. You hear $1 billion, $3 billion. It's all pieces of paper. One person sits down. The Europe zone decide. Have you asked yourself who decide what the valuation of money would be. Nigeria owes America $1 billion. That doesn't actually mean anything. $1 billion simply means Nigeria needs to generate 1 million slaves to work harder to generate resources for America. Nigerian naira is 420 naira to £1. Have you asked yourself who determined the money ratio, the money equilibrium? How do you know today the naira is 429 naira to £1? Have you asked yourself who decide the ratio? But because the black man is not wise, a Nigerian dollar is like 500 naira to $1. Have you asked yourself what that simply means? Is that the master decides the buying capacity and the selling capacity and the valuation of buying and selling capacity is like appraiser. So what you see right now is the European zone has masterminded a plot, which is called the Jews were called they call it the Holocaust. But what will happen upon the Commonwealth nation will be called the Grand Holocaust. The Jews suffer the Holocaust, the Commonwealth nation will suffer the Grand Holocaust. And in the Grand Holocaust, 500 million Commonwealth nation citizens will destroy. Now the destruction has started already, because their currency is being devalued every day. The essence of devaluation of their currency is to kill their civilization exploration, because every time a Commonwealth nation comes abroad, they are coming to harness knowledge. So they don't want them to harness knowledge anymore, so they increase the currency to devalue the currency. So if naira is 500 naira to $1, what that simply will mean is that the Commonwealth nation will not be able to buy, they will not be able to sell. Now the Commonwealth nation has been busy dealing on crude oil. They have forgotten that there's even nothing like crude oil. Crude oil is a European developmental schemology to be able to empower their industry. So they found mineral resources in Africa, which was necessary to their industry. So they have so much suppressed the African government to continue to drill oil for them to take to their land. So when Nigerians sell 1 million barrels of crude oil, American gives them $1 billion. It's not even a $1 billion piece of paper. Because have you asked yourself, the oil you give them, what do they use it for? To develop their own industry. You sell your resources to them at the cost of pieces of paper. It makes no sense. So the Nigerian and the Commonwealth nation, I advise them today to start preparing their soil for fertilization, because there will be famine and starvation 15 years from today. And if they don't start preparing the land for fertilization, they will die in massism, in famine and starvation, because the Europe zone wants to destroy the Commonwealth nation. It will be sad that 500 million lives will vanish from the face of the earth. It is happening already. Our colored brothers should look at the Sudan famine. Have you asked yourself, why is there famine in Sudan? There's famine in Sudan because the Sudanese people has a generic trait. They are like camels. They have a generic diamond in them. They are unique breed of Africans. They are actually the wisest species of the African race, the Sudanese, the Sudan people. They are like camel, they never tired. You can walk them for 7 days without water. So the white man saw the gift, the generic gift of God creating these people with that uniqueness. So it will kill them. They first of all stampede their economy. How could you tell me that in the civilized 21st century, 1998, people are dying of famine? Go to the YouTube. Go and watch Sudan starvation. People died. And people died. Our colored brothers don't even know why they are dying. It is all the masterminded of the Europe zone to bring destruction upon the Commonwealth nation.
The question about was that you talk about the fact that the Commonwealth currency, they want to publish it. Those Europeans, they want to develop of the Commonwealth nations, and because of this attack on the Commonwealth, that they want to extend the Commonwealth people, that they are planning, one of their plans to destroy the Commonwealth money, and the Commonwealth so that is valueless. Are you afraid of that?
No, you see, first of all, the Commonwealth government have no brains. Have you asked yourself, what do they mean by they froze people's money? They are frozen Iran's money so Iran cannot buy or sell. There's nothing like money. Every economy can sustain on themselves. What's America? What's London? Every nation should begin to walk their way to independence. Nigeria as a nation can survive without America. Ghana can survive without America. Ghana does not need to do business with America. Nigeria does not need to do business with America. They should sustain their own economy. The reason for business relationship is what is called knowledge exploration. Nigeria want to build bridges. America has the talent to build bridges for them. So they do what they call money equilibrium. America will bring 100 civil engineer labor force. Nigeria will bring 1,000 labor force. So what America does not need, what America needs from Nigeria supplies in terms of human labor. What Nigeria needs, American supplies in terms of human labor. But the truth is that there would be apocalypse of Judaism, which is the destruction of the Commonwealth race. The dragon of hell has possessed the body of men. So there would be apocalypse of Judaism. I call on the nations of the Commonwealth today to start preparing storage and reservation. They need to create storage, just like it was said in the Bible, where Joseph translated the dream and the king stored for 7 years because the famine lasted for 7 years. There will be serious famine in Africa. And because this destruction will come upon the Commonwealth nation, Nigeria right now should start learning to be an island of its own, so that should this catastrophe come upon them, they can survive without crying to America. Because if Nigeria, that is 180 million and 90 million dies, Nigeria will perish. It is a premeditated master plan. First of all, the Commonwealth nation government has not created sustenance for their citizens, because the white man gave them independence and taught them the lust of life. Lust of life means everybody wants to build house, everybody wants to build mansion, everybody wants to steal money to America. Every politics of the Commonwealth nation has no ideology. Democracy death and out of politics birth. We need to kill democracy. So I use this opportunity to tell the Commonwealth nation to go and watch the video of democracy death and act of politics birth. We need to give up democracy and begin to practice the art of politics. So the sad reality is that Commonwealth nations are producing the greatest nation is a nation that have enough massism. When the population is densely, what normally would happen is that nation is blessed. But if the Commonwealth nation cannot sustain their citizens, I think they should start sterilizing their wives and sterilizing their sons, so that they do not lead to densely populated human race. The Commonwealth race is leading to densely populated human race, and they cannot cater for themselves. And because they cannot cater for themselves, the white European masters want to now reduce the race by causing famine and starvation. That is the easiest way to kill all of them. So they die in their own waste. So when they are dying of famine and starvation, nobody bears the bronze, nobody carries the cross. It will be like, they cannot feed themselves. There's no food. How can there not be food? So, but because to till a land for fertilization can take like 6 months, getting the land ready to be able to crop seeds, to be able to seed and crop is a germination of the seeds. So the Commonwealth nation right now are not prepared for this catastrophe that is coming, because they are not settled. All they just want is the best things of life. American government is deceiving them to sell their crude oil. Blinding their eyes with the big calling of the money, $10 billion, $11 billion. So they don't even know themselves anymore. So this famine and starvation will hit in the next 15 years. So the world now, Lagos State is a big city. Have you asked yourself, the food that sustains the people in Lagos, where does the farmer? The Nigerian economy cannot sustain their nation, because they do not produce enough for them to live up to feed themselves. So the goods in Nigerian citizens are eating comes from abroad. So if you now tell me that 500 naira is $1, what does that say to you? It only shows that the Nigerian economy cannot sustain because they cannot even eat, buy, sell, and trade. So it's a premeditated plot to destroy the nation of Commonwealth. There's nothing like dollars is 500 naira, naira is 500 naira to $1, or naira is 429 naira to £1. Who decides the money valuation? One person sits in his bedroom controlling the money economy. You know, and the Nigerians cannot fight back because it's the white man's idea. Because if the white man tells them today, naira is going to be 500 naira is going to be $1, they cannot do anything because they are not the economists. They are not the one that decide who buys and who sell. So it is very, very sad. It's very, very sad. So there will be destruction. But the Commonwealth nation right now should know that the brothers that are deported, the shameness of one brother is a shame upon you. Because when they are deporting your brothers, you are thinking, because they criminalize the faces of their action. So you don't even have a reason to actually see that they are playing a propaganda. So they start deporting the people they say they have no papers. So the ones who have papers are relaxed. Then they begin to deport the ones that have papers. And then the nations of Commonwealth is relaxed. Then they begin to now devalue the naira. So nobody will even be able to travel out of Nigeria anymore. Those who will be able to travel to Europe now will only be the billionaires. And the billionaires' family cannot even travel as which they used to travel because the naira will become 5,000 naira to $1. Or it will become 5,000 pounds. 5,000 naira to £1. What is that? That just tells you that is the master plan now. Because the only way now to stop them not to come abroad right now, because they don't need the African nation anymore. They finished exploiting their resources. So how can they the nations of Africa, if they cannot manage their citizens productive rate and multiplication of the human race, then they should sterilize themselves and stop having more babies. Because the more you have more babies, you should be able to find a scheme. Productivity and multiplication is a gift to nature. Because every nature that have human beings is the biggest nation. America right now putting people to death because they don't even know the values of humans. Who decide which man dies and which man lives? But you see the American killing people. Who decide which man dies? You know, I was watching the American court system. In the high courts, in the American High Court of Justice, you know, they have two sitting. They have the two parties having judges. How could that be? Or one, they were going to kill a prisoner. You could hear the politics in America. You know, the one of the political parties in the high court, they agree. The other political party does not agree. So the justice system in America is politicized. How should that be? Why should the High Court of Justice in America has two political parties with four judges in there? It is madness, it's insanity. So I think that the Commonwealth nation should start working to be an island of their own. They need to start getting their land ready for fertilization because there will be apocalypse of Judaism. You know, the apocalypse of Judaism, if they can stand in unity now, they can fight the white man's decoy. So they should not find themselves happiness. They should stop selling their mineral resources. They should not use it to develop themselves and sustain their human race, their race as a nation. Because there will be apocalypse of Judaism, 500 million Commonwealth citizens will perish. There will be serious famine and starvation. And the famine and starvation in Commonwealth nation would last for like 10 years. So we're actually looking at 2030 to 2040. So if a famine lasts for 40 years, 3/4 of the nations are all dead. You know, even the rich people that will have stored food, after a while, the food will also finish. So this is just is a necklace of human destruction. It's sad. It's sad.
Finally, to the Commonwealth people. To the Commonwealth nation and the common people in the Commonwealth nations, what are the immediate expectations? Because the other time, I remember you once said that in 14 years from now, this is going to happen, and another 13 years, something is going to happen again. So what should the Commonwealth nations and the common people in the Commonwealth expect between now and the next 14 years? What
the Commonwealth nations should do right now is that we need to summon the Europe zone and the American economists who decide the money equilibrium into a round table. Nigeria will no longer accept the devaluation of their naira. Africa does not owe the Europe zone. The Europe zone of say Nigeria is a debted, is a premeditated decoy to suppress them to slavery. They don't owe the Europe. There's nothing like they owe you money, we write off your debt. It actually means nothing. Every time you hear Nigeria is owing American money, it only simply means that Nigeria should generate more slaves to do American free labor. So America could say, you know what, we want 100 barrels of crude oil. You know, Nigeria, you owe me money. You know, and Nigeria begin to get men from their homes. You know, the economic system is a ghostly operation. It's just money from the printing machine just being printed. So what the Commonwealth nations, it's sad that if other races do not like you, for example, in the animal kingdom, you're not going to see the catfish moving with the snake fish. You're not going to see tiger fish moving with the tilapia fish. All fishes move the same. Fishes that look alike move alike. So you're not going to the nations of the Commonwealth is not going to force themselves on the white man. The white mans have been very, very premeditated in their decoy. You know, if you go and watch the Commonwealth citizens doom and rebet on YouTube, Commonwealth citizens doom and rebet, you see the white man's destructions have been very, very obvious. The black have suffered for years and they are still suffering. You know, the only black colored brothers who could have been able to fight for the beauty of black is that those ones have been catapulted to be bastard. The blacks in America are like bastard because they don't know their roots. So if they don't know their root, the unity to fight for their brothers is actually not there. So the nations of the Commonwealth should start preparing for the famine and starvation, 15 years from now, which will last for 10 years. You know, they now that they know this revelation, I call myself the oracle. I'm actually an oracle. You know, so the world should know that I'm a living God, you know, that will die. It's sad that I'm going to die, but the world should know that this God, this human God called Professor Alexia Thomas and knowledgeable is going to die one day, you know. But I am happy that I've been able to stop the human destruction. I have seen with the eye, the third eye, the eyes that sees, the wind cries with the wind, and I'm revealing what I'm seeing. And I think that the Commonwealth nations should not, they've neglected my voice. You know, I think they've commonized me because in their mind, I'm not in power. I'm not the one that run the economy. But they don't even understand the economy themselves because they are the most idiotic leaders of the world I've never seen. You know, how could they be deporting your citizen? I told the world Nigerians were going to be deported on the 26th. What did the Nigerian government do? What did the Commonwealth nation government do? Nothing. You know, they still managed to still take some to the airport, you know. So this destruction is going on. You know, it's a matter above the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He is the headship of the destruction because United Kingdom is championing the destruction of the Commonwealth. They are the Commonwealth colonial masters, so they are put in front to excavate them and take them to their country of destruction where they want to destroy them. But the end product is, like I said, there are 3 layers of destruction. You know, the first layer is those without papers will be evacuated in 6 years, and those with residence to be revoked in the next 7 years. And then currently, as those without papers are being deported, currently you can see the naira is being devalued so much. The Nigerian Central Bank, I don't know what people are kept there. They call themselves the governor of Central Bank. They have no brains. You know, they've never asked themselves, how could the white man tell you your currency is now 429 naira to £1, and you keep there? What are you, an economist? We are the professor economists. You know, economists is nothing. You know, but because they are not wise, you understand. Have you asked yourself how is he rated? Who decides what should be what? It's just one person sitting in Buckingham Palace or somewhere controlling the money supply.
Now that you said the central bank governor doesn't have a sense, doesn't have no sense. Don't you think that in an ideal society, someone like that would have been sacked or fired or has to come and be prosecuted for incompetence? No.
How would you know when you are still a slave? The Commonwealth nation do not have independence. They only have sovereignty. You know, they have no economy. The white man determined the economy. That is why the famine will sweep and kill 500 million nations of the Commonwealth. If they become an economist, being able to lead their nation without interference of the international involvement, then they will be able to be wise to protect. Like I said, if they cannot manage their multiplication and production of their children, they should sterilize themselves, so that they don't make more babies, because the more they make more babies and they are not intelligent enough to sustain their people, the white man is planning the destruction that is above their own desire. So imagine 180 million Nigerians, 180 million Nigerians, imagine 150 million Nigeria dies. I mean, what do you say? All those land will not turn to empty vegetation. That's even what the white man wants again. Come back to take the land and rebuild their own city, because the more the people die, the more nobody is there to fight for the land. So the land becomes their free land to harness gold again. You know, because their own population is getting bigger and bigger. They don't even have land in their own country. So the more 3/4 of the Nigerian nation or Commonwealth nation dies and exterminated because of famine and starvation, they are happy to come back and take that land again. Because when 3/4 dies from 2030 to 2014, Nigeria will not be a nation. It will come back under the management of the white man again, because it has destroyed itself. It has destroyed itself because it has not prepared for her independence. Her independence is her ability to feed and sustain her people. You know, the movement of exodus of the Commonwealth nation started from them not being able to feed themselves, going abroad to work like slaves. You know, and the Europe zone has had enough of the slave now. You know, and then the slaves are becoming wise. You know, and they have refused to give them paper. So the issue of not even giving everybody who goes abroad, nobody wants to live abroad. Everybody wants to be sure they can come and they can go. But because the white man decoy knows that when they are going to them, they are stealing their knowledge away. So they deny them access not to have paper, and they become afraid because they want to be sure they can come and they can go. And before you know, all the best of the best talent in Commonwealth nation are abroad working like slaves. You know, now they thought that they've worked, you know, there's a future, but unfortunately the white man now, seeing the fear of the Commonwealth nation becoming the biggest continent of the world, because they continue to produce more babies they cannot look after. That's why I say they should sterilize themselves if they cannot look after, you know, the offspring they are giving, rather than the white man, you know, bringing a premeditated decoy to bring famine and starvation. Because until the Commonwealth nation begin to manage their economy, until they begin to control their economy, until the Commonwealth nation can actually sustain themselves without the United Kingdom or America, they should stop thinking of oil is a means of money making. Oh, our money making is oil. Are you going to eat oil? You know, the American is buying oil from you because they want to build their land. The building of America today started 60 years ago. So in 60 years, they continue to build, you know, till your oil. So you have no sense selling them your oil. Now they don't need your oil anymore because they've stored enough reserve. So what they now need to do now is to kill your economy now, because they can no longer sustain your people. Your people will only sustain by them because they needed them for labor. So now that they build their 21st century city, right now you can see the invention of the America building atomic bomb, building missile, because human has gone mad. You know, even the destruction of the Commonwealth nation is the American ideology, selling them weapons. You know, how could you be developing weapon to destroy humanity? It's madness.
Now, there's a very important issue I just should ask you. A few hours ago, Eritrea is a country that broke away from Ethiopia, that had its independence from Ethiopia. The Prime Minister made a statement worldwide a few hours ago and said because Ethiopian men, they are short in circulation in Ethiopia, and Eritrea men, they are short in circulation. Right now, they've put a new law that all men in Eritrea that broke away from Ethiopia is independence, that to marry from now a minimum of 2 wives. That the man who had wife before, who want to marry a wife, if the wife refuses, the wife will be issued automatic life imprisonment. If the man refuses to marry more than 1 wife, the man faces life imprisonment, and that it is compulsory a minimum of 2 wives. That there's anybody can do about it. Because the Eritrean men in that country, they're short in supply. Well, as a philosopher and as a Nostradamus, with the woman with the real mother with the spirit of Nostradamus in you, what do you see foresee in that kind of country?
Well, as an oracle, first of all, the president of Eritrea has gone mad. But if you look at deep in his ideology, first of all, the human enactment of love energy, the human are jealous. So you cannot force a man that they must marry 2 wives. Because what it is simply means that the conceptology of the visionology of the Eritrean president simply means that they want to begin to build an economy of themselves, and they realize that they are not they are less populated. So to expand the race for a new 21st century Eritrea that would compete with other neighboring Commonwealth and civilization and nation, they need to make more babies. So it's like me saying that the Commonwealth nations now should begin to sterilize their themselves, so that they don't build more, because the more they have more, the more the white man is feeling troubled. Because how do you give birth to 15 children when you cannot even look after them? How can Nigeria not be creative to be able to, if you cannot feed your people? Nigeria right now have not even the fertilizer and the manure that they use in the farm. They have to import them. So that's what it is. So if you look at the deeper conceptology of that man, I think I think he has a future. He could see that, like he said, the men are not much, so he actually sees them extincting away. So he's trying to balance the race, because if a man marries two wives, one wife can actually produce 2 children, but 2 wives will produce 6 children. So what the guy is trying to do is a culture, is a futuristic perception of wanting Eritrea to suddenly develop in an equation of, if Eritrea were 1 million people, in the next 20 and 50 and 30 years, 50 years, they could be like 50 million people. So it's just a conceptology, but because people has freedom of opinion, he may be taking advantage of freedom of opinion to express what he feels, but I don't think he's allowed to enact it into law. So it's totally unacceptable. Tilling the crude oil. So in the next 10 years, crude oil will no longer be needed. The white man will devalue the African currency. That's why you can see today now pounds is 429 naira is 1 pound. So pounds now, naira now is about $550 to 550 naira to $1. So all they are doing right now is suffocating them. By the time the naira becomes 3,000 naira to 1 pound, the purpose of increasing, devaluing the currency is to deny them, to deny them the civilization, for them to be able to travel to Europe to gain knowledge. So what we are actually going to be facing, the Jews, it was called the Holocaust. What will happen to the Commonwealth nation will be what do you call it? So the Jews face Holocaust. The Commonwealth nation will face their own Holocaust. So the Holocaust is actually coming upon the Commonwealth nation. So the Africans, for the first time, really need to start preparing for storage of food reservation. Because first of all, they've left to be able to get a land ready for fertilization and planting of crop. Takes a while. You treat it, you fertilize the land. Because right now, the black man is no more tilling their land to generate food. Everybody is in the city. To be able to build enough food to feed all the old Lagos, they're not going to be able to meet up, because the farmyard, the what do you call it, the villagers will not be able to create enough food, because the fertilizer they use in germinating the crop comes from Europe. So if 429 naira is 1 pound. So when 3,000 naira becomes 1 pound, the farmer will not be able to buy the fertilizer. It's only billionaires that will be able to travel.
That means this revelation, inflation growth, there will be food insecurity.
Well, there's nothing like even inflation. The question is that it's just one man controlling the ratio of what should be what. For example, now naira is 429 naira. Have you asked yourself who decides how much it should be? So what they are doing right now, the currency for the first time now has been a mark to destroy the Commonwealth nation. The Commonwealth, all the president know is that naira is now 429 naira is 1 pound. He does not know how they decide the currency equilibrium. So the scheme the Europe wants to use now is to deny Commonwealth nation not to be able to travel abroad. So that's why they are devaluing their currency, because if naira is 429 naira to 1 pound, you are not going to be able to travel now, because you cannot be able to afford the ticket. So the scheme to destroy Commonwealth nation now, is to devalue their currency, because what they want to use now to destroy Commonwealth nation is famine and starvation. And because the Commonwealth nation is not tilling, they are not generating food for themselves. The Commonwealth nation, cannot survive from international exploration because they've refused to reinvent themselves. They rely on the white man who prints pieces of paper and give to them. They say Nigerian government is owing MIF or IMF. Who says that? There's nothing like owing anything. They don't exchange money. They just level bill upon them so that they work tirelessly to develop their own country. So it's going to be very sad. Yeah, because I'm so afraid for the Commonwealth nation that 500 million. Nigeria is 180 million. So Commonwealth nation is like about 2 billion. Commonwealth nation currently is about 3 billion Commonwealth nation. So I think about 2 billion. About 1.5 billion. So what they really want to do now, they want to reduce the rate through famine and starvation. They want to kill them. So that is a decoy. Now they really want to destroy Commonwealth. But the Commonwealth government is too busy. They don't understand what is happening. You understand? Oh no, the fear is that the African development will overshadow the world. So since it was not the idea of the British master to give them independence, so they fear that they could be the world's biggest power. So that is why, unfortunately, Sudan has been a victim of famine. But no African man has really asked themselves, why is Sudan having famine in this civilization? Why can you say there's no food? Congo. Yeah, so how can you say there's no food, famine? Because the white man denied them access to food subsidy. The white man the Sudanese race is a race with a very unique gene. They are like camel. They are more even intelligent than the Africans. But the white man saw the fear, and the first race to be destroyed is the Sudanese people. They are tall. Everything about them is horse cameling components of generic composition they have. So the fear right now is that the African, I am talking to them as Nostradamus, 15 years from now there's going to be famine in all the Commonwealth nations and 500 million will die. Another Nostradamus of our time. Yes, 500 million will die. It will be very sad. Another prophet. Yeah, if 500 million die, I mean what I'm saying is not go to the website and check Sudanese famine. You see the Sudanese dying.
When we talk about these things, this interview is going to be because I like this kind of revelation.
Yeah.
These are revelations of life.
Because I'm shouting now, the Commonwealth government are neglecting me. They are not standing to the values.
It's your record that you said it.
They are not standing. George is so scary. George, yeah.
They're not seeing what you are saying.
Oh.
Because they're not seeing what you are saying. You are the one saying all these things. You're saying those revelations. They ain't saying it. Because they're not saying it. Even when you try to lecture them on what you are saying, for them to take it as a matter of urgency and form it up, they don't want to say it until the destruction comes.
Yeah, it's time they start taking their own independence. They should move out from oil production. Oil production is not the interest of the Commonwealth people. It's for the interest of the Europe to develop their own economy. Commonwealth nation knows that they cannot compete with the Europe. They should start tilling their land, preparing their land for fertilization, because a land that will germinate crop needs to...
I must confess to you, I like what you're talking about. I'm enjoying the issues. It's so beautiful. Because ideas fly. I don't want those ideas to fly from you. All the revelations is fly, comes and fly. It's a spiritual thing. I don't know to fly from you. Are you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I know that inspiration, divinity fly. When it comes like that, it doesn't come all the time. It flies. I don't want to fly away from you, and I like the way it's coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm planning is the ones that live here, and I try to get home. I'm going to call you. We'll have the interview.
Yeah, because if nothing fears the African. You see, when I was seeing the deportation, those who have papers to go first, and those who don't have papers will go first from now to 6 years. Then those who don't have papers will be another 6 years. So I'm going to give you the years and how the masses of destruction will go, and then 14 years exact, the famine will start. The famine has actually started already. So I'll give it. So the Commonwealth people needs to stand up for the first time and start stocking their their storage rooms for food. There's going to be serious famine. If they don't prepare for today, they cannot counteract the Europe confraternity. You know, it's sad because God did not give them knowledge. You know, but we really 500 million dead. It's going to be a massacre.